The following program is a public service of Gulf Coast State College, WKGC, and Commodore Productions. And now, the Military Hour with Cary Deeter.
Welcome to another edition of Military Hour. I have two very special guests here this morning. I have Mr. Hajik and his son, Kaial Hajik, and we're going to learn some of the things that are going on locally here in Bay County and Panama City area that the Boy Scouts are up to. And if I may, before we start, congratulations on moving up from the Cub Scouts to the Boy Scouts.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. So, Dad, take it away.
Okay. Well, thank you for having us. You know, getting the word out about scouting is kind of it's a task, and it's a labor of love for a lot of us, especially as fathers. I always say that I have one son, but I really have 50. We started out. My career with scouting started with law enforcement exploring in St. Pete, and as I got older, of course we have children and things like that. Scouting just seems to have such, life lessons and how to learn to get out obstacles. Some things that aren't really being taught these days. The foundation of scouting is scripture-based. With all of the tenets of it, we have 12 scout laws we follow. You can actually repeat them if you like later on down the road, but no pressure. But scouting is not really foreign to folks. We have Girl Scouts and things like that. But we've noticed in the last couple of years a little bit of shrinkage in the membership. I think this year some of the numbers are relatively about 40% reduction in some of the scoutings. And it's not saying that there's a defined pinpoint problem, but I know that some of the negative press kind of does things like that, and we have to work through that, and I want to get back to that about how, because scouting is all about, character development, learning how to deal with problems, work through problems, and as they grow older, and you see some of the older scouts, they know how to take a problem, dissect it, find a solution, work through it, and monitor. You're like, wow, awesome job BSA has done. As they get to that point, there's so many little things they understand and they learn. They learn about the flag, folding of the flag. They understand what on my honor to do my best means in everything they do. It's really a neat thing that grows on them. Some of the reduction we've had is that, we understand that the demographic and to do with, the economy, mom and dad are really the foundation of scouting. But it starts out at Cub Scouts at their first grade, on up to, their fifth grade and whatnot when they move over to the Boy Scouts if they so decide. Well, mom and dad need to come there. It's not really, there's a bad saying that BSA stands for, Babysitting Association, but it's not really such. Mom and dad want to drop them off, but that's okay. We really need mom and dad's, involvement and whether they choose to be a lead or I tell the scouts, nowhere in the rest of your life as you grow old will you be an individual. Yes, you'll have your individual desires and things. Teamwork is everything.
Absolutely.
The parents that come in, the moms, the dads, doesn't matter if it's mom or dad, we have some fabulous female leaders. I mean, Allison Sapp, who is part of the, that replaced me as we moved on from PAC 323 into Troop 323. They took over, hit the ground running, fantastic. Nick Casasa also, they team at it. Great teamwork, fantastic, love them to death.
Good.
But it's that teamwork that they see, how the adults work together, that the kids are saying, you know what, we can do things together. It's not just me understanding how to tie a knot. I need to learn. I need to understand how those things go. And a lot of it gets affiliated with not just knot tying, understanding the flag, what the flag stands for, the folds of the flag, things of that sort. Basic common things. And we also are into the business of reverency. God is a very big part of scouting. Regardless if you're a Muslim or if you're a Jew or if you're a Judeo-Christian, things of that sort. We don't differentiate. We cover all points of that.
Right.
We show respect of that. We understand that. And before each meeting, we actually say a prayer. If we have some of the denominations, say we have maybe a Muslim or if we have a Jew, we always touch on that so we don't, things of that sort. So we all are the same thing. But we get into understanding the 12 points of the Scout Law. And if you'd like, would you like to say the 12 points of Scout Law real quick?
A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, brave, clean, and reverent.
Very good. Those words mean so much, but we try to get them, even at Cub Scouts, we try to get them to memorize them. 6 years old, or six, it's kind of tough to really comprehend some of the words, but as we work in, in understanding those things he just said, we don't dumb down any of the definitions of them. The one thing that we kind of, we really talked about is being honest. You know, no lie telling, things of that sort, things they understand right off the bat. And these words will, later on, they'll start getting it. They'll start understanding when they go to camp, when they go to things like that.
It builds the character.
Yes, sir.
And real quick,
Yeah.
there's something, and Kyle, you may take this to heart, you may not, but I think you will. There was something that my dad taught me very young, about the time I was in the Cub Scouts, and it was very simple. You have a name. You have a duty to keep that name clean.
Yes, sir.
You're no better than anybody else. No one is any better than you.
Absolutely.
And your word is your bond, and that's your honor.
Amazing.
And I never forgot it.
Yeah.
Never forgot it.
It's right on point. And with that, you know, and I won't go into too much of the crazy details, but and I guess it's more of a thing. What we came here to ultimately talk about was actually recruiting and Cub Scout Ranger Day. Cub Scout Ranger Day is something we hold every year here on the beach. It used to be called Cub Scout Sport Shooting Day, but we kind of made we wanted to show a little homage to, you know, some of the military piece. So in our badges and things and the certificates you'll see later, it has the Ranger Day. It has the Blue Ranger symbol from World War II. We keep that at each one of the patches. So, and we also have that. We explain to the children and the boys what that means. But anyways, Cub Scouting is only part of the year. It starts with the school year and ends with the school year. And do some things during the summer, but you know, Mom and Dad, they have vacations and things like that to give them a little bit of a break. Now, when they go in the Boy Scouts, it's year round. They have summer camps and things. We're going next week up to one up in Alabama. And they learn all kinds of things, water survival, first aid, you know, they'll do marksmanship badges, things like that. They just can't get it anywhere. But I guess we always stick with the reverence piece. That's part of the thing. And we have our weekly meetings. And I guess one of the really amazing things that I notice is not just watching my son, but you watch them from when they're first graders, and they get into second grade, and they get to third grade, and they earn Wolf and Bear, and you see an amazing maturity growth pattern and it just blows your mind, you know, and it's really a humbling thing, like, wow, you know, and then BSA is not everything, but it's just, you know, and they do the best they can, and the program is fantastic. You know, there's struggle for money, but it's a program, if they so wish to be that caliber of a man or caliber of a person, then here's what we got for you. You know, we talked about negative press a little bit, and we teach about, you know, there's problems, but there's also obstacles in your career. You look down the path of life and things like that, you'll see an obstacle in the way. Okay, that's a problem for me. Well, how am I going to attack that problem? Well, it's an obstacle. You can move through it, around it, over it. You go through that obstacle. Nothing deters you from that golden ring of down there and we, in our case, making Eagle Scout. So if we have political issues, things like that, things are going to change. We can do that. We can get through that, but nothing takes us off our goal. And that right there in itself teaches them when they move a little older, I have a goal, an ending goal, and whether I'm going to be a project manager, or if I'm going to be federal law enforcement, or if I'm going to go into the military, I have the goals that I need to achieve based upon my boss told me. I know how to work through problems to get to that goal and achieve mission accomplishment.
Right. And you're always going to have lifelong goals.
Yes, sir.
You know? And I'll allude real quickly earlier when we talked about the nurses thing.
Yes.
It's another goal.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't have goals, you're going nowhere. You're treading water, and you're not helping anybody. You're not helping yourself.
Yes, sir.
Or your family. So
we tell them, you know, they give them a handbook. They have a handbook with them all the time. You know, there's a way to program your brain, and Mom and Dad they'll give you the first-hand thing. You know, sometimes you need a mentor that's not necessarily your mom and dad, and that's where I come in. That's where our leaders come in. Is we have a program we follow to the letter. Very cognizant about the security of these young boys. There's been a lot of the negative press. We've had programs that deter and get away from them. We were very serious at no shenanigans, nothing of that sort.
Right.
We were very protective of these boys.
Right.
Nothing that, you know, there's always the cliche comments. We just have to, you know, whatever. Their safety is paramount, number one. Safety is number one. We move from there. But that's pretty much the parameter of that piece is safety, security, teaching them life lessons and things of that sort.
That in itself bodes well, not just for the individual, but it bodes well for our communities,
Yes, sir.
our state, and the nation in its entirety.
Absolutely.
We had something when I was in the Cub Scouts that, talking about community involvement, was called PAL, P-A-L, Police Athletic League.
Oh, yes.
We would actually get to go to a police shooting range.
Yes.
Well, not in first grade, but when we
Yeah.
got closer, like third, fourth, fifth grade, then you could be part of that. But we'd also get to go to there were a lot of playgrounds because I'm from up north, and we would go and play ball, baseball, or volleyball, or soccer, and there was that involvement.
Yes, sir.
And not only was it great fun, but it also taught us how to be better team players.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
As real small kids.
It's amazing. It's amazing. You learn it then, and you'll never forget that stuff. And it's just.
And I remember my days as Cub Scout. It was just a lot of fun. Learned a lot, and it was a lot of fun. But.
And one of the things that we notice, and video games is huge these days. Fidget spinners, video games, and that's good. We want the kids to have fun. We want you to. And I tell them before, I said, we've got this path of scouting. We've got this. I don't want you to pull away from you being a kid. I want you to have fun. I won't take that away from you. But there's a time and place for everything. Yeah. So if we keep that balance, and one thing that I noticed that. After Christmas, we have a big dip in membership. Video games are, so we kind of struggle with that. But they come back, they trickle back. But I think that if the video games are great, and I think it teaches them things because I don't want to take that away from them, and I would never, because technology is so changing, that could be beneficial in a certain point. So there's a balance. You take 2 hours of gaming, and by the way, we're probably going to do PT a little bit after. It just
exactly.
keep. And we introduced that as well in the scouting. There's wellness, great benefits of teaching them about wellness, exercise, eating right, things of that sort. And I think one of the principal canon from West Bay Elementary is where we had our troop, our pack that met. And one day we were discussing stuff on email and how we would coordinate things. And he says, Joe, you're not programming kids. I said, how so, sir? He says, you're programming adults. And I never thought about it like that. I'm a caveman, and I can do this. And that's why I tell people, I said, if you ever thought about coming and helping out, it's all right there for you. And there's a lot of people to take examples from. Do you remember Judy? You remember her last name, right? Judy Young, and I'm going to make sure you remember, just trying to keep him involved with part of this. But Judy Young has been involved with scouting around here, probably more than anybody that's been in this area. She's part of PAC 323, moving over to Troop 323. I take so much knowledge from Judy, and she's kind of a guide. I am the leader, but I'm not all-knowing. And I use Judy. Part of the committee, another parent has her grandson coming along. I just replaced Mike Abbott. Mike Abbott was a veteran. He's moving on. Ian Abbott, his son, has made Eagle Scout. Did a fabulous Eagle Scout project.
Yep.
They did the flag ash burial tomb at the Bay County Range.
Yeah,
beautiful. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, they did a wonderful job there. I think we have a new scout about to make Eagle. Father was formerly naval, and Sean Norbert. He is making planners now for the Sims home over in Nutton. So when the veterans or the people that come up in their wheelchairs, they have the ability to plant flowers. He's making planters for them to support them over there. So really, we all help out with the Eagle Project. Yeah, I know, phenomenal, smart kid. His brother, also Kyle, he just made Eagle Scout. He's actually come over and he's part of the leadership. Now the mother, Doreen Norbert, foundation of the troop. Just awesome. I mean, I try to help out. She's got me always beat 5 times. So it's got nothing to do with being a guy or a lady.
Yeah.
It's a collective effort. Tom Landreth. Oh, yes. I mean, Tom Landreth is with our troop. And we have a super amount of adults that are out there with you. We have a troop at 317 at the NSA PC. A couple of great guys that are over there. I said one of the gentlemen that left our pack went over there by the name of Chris Voorhees, wonderful guy. I guess part of the big foundation that we all rely upon is there's a gentleman that's with the troop, and the name escapes me. Who's the gentleman that helped me do Ranger Day last year? The camera's making me forget.
I'm going to use that one.
Marsh Weber, sorry. Marsh Weber is a gentleman that's probably one of the bigger pieces also that helps out. He's with Troop 317 now. Seeing Marsh involvement is I use Marsh as kind of my mentor, if you will. Same with the Chris Voorhees and things of that sort that do that stuff. Then I watch what they're doing, becoming more educated in scouting so they can teach, and it's just spreading them out. they have quite a bit of troops there at the Navy base. I think they have 40 scouts.
Oh,
I think
wow, that's a lot, huh?
over at 323, I think we're on the 15, 16 range. But anyways, I digress.
So, you know, if each one reach one, maybe you can recruit more.
Trying that way.
Yeah, that would be good.
And
Can I ask Kyle a quick question?
Go right ahead.
So, your dad talked about video games a while ago, not wanting to take them away and all. And I noticed earlier, I thought you were doing something with one of those video games. Do you know what the worst thing is for a granddad or a dad about video games?
They like play it every hour. It's so hard to get them off the games, and like fidget spinners too.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really annoying to the parents.
Yeah, but you know what's really hard for us, harder than that? We can't beat you guys.
Exactly.
In those games. My grandson Kyle is every time I try, I'm like, I just can't win. But so that means
true.
you guys are going to be smarter than we are. I think.
Absolutely.
So.
And I think there has got to be a benefit to that down the road. I mean, like you said, with the autonomous aircraft, sometimes I mean that's part of that's. I think it's huge. I don't want to take that away, but it's not. I know that when we get on games, sometimes he'll pop in 6 in the morning. The kids are on, and no matter, we'll go away and do something, some exercise, do a project, or eat, come back on a weekend. The kids are still on, like they must be on there from daylight to dusk, and it's amazing.
And I'm one of those people that I need to be regimented. I want to be regimented, so I pretty much my days are set in order. Is that boring? Maybe for somebody, but not for me. I'll read 4 different books, but I'll read each book maybe 20 to 30 minutes apiece. And you know, with all the technology, you go through email, blah, blah, get rid of, most of it's junk anyway, people trying to sell you stuff. But if they're important, like when we communicated about coming out here and whatnot, you know, I answer as fast as I can. But if you do blocks of time for your tasks, whether it's mowing the yard, whether it's doing physical training, no matter what it is, when you're older like me and you want to walk around the block, do it. Set out those blocks. You can get more accomplished by planning and being regimented than if you just willy-nilly go about your time.
What do you have for your plan for the summer? What do we make you?
We have like a everyday schedule, like either one day's swimming laps or running. Like sometimes I get some free time, but mostly it's for exercising.
Yep, and going from 5th grade to 6th grade, it's a little bit of a challenge in middle school. So Mom, very smart, smarter than me, has him do some computer programs, keeping him with math and with some other things, comprehension, things like that.
Khan Academy and Ticket to Read.
Oh, Khan Academy is really good. Even I know about that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Talk about a genius. That guy is a genius.
I'll tell you. There's a lot. I think they're actually getting some of the Cub Scouts involved in some of that STEM thing, the STEM, and I'm ignorant on that.
Another good program, STEM, absolutely.
Well, we're restarting. You know, we talked about the military hour and stuff. You know, with our upcoming September 16th Cub Scout Ranger Day, we'll have a link and where the kids can sign up, and it'll be a small fee, but it covers incidentals. And actually, the fee covers a prorated membership of Cub Scouts from September to December. Gives them they don't have to pay the full $24. They get to pay the $8, and they get in, see if they like it. If that's what they want to do, then in December we recharter for the next year. But 16th September at Gulf Beach Baptist, 9 to 2, will be the event. Now, what we have there, it's really a lot of nice stuff. I mean, it grows bigger every year. In the words of Marsh Weber, which I'm carrying on the tradition, is we always make it bigger and better and bolder. And not for our benefit, but for the boys and the attraction, and we want to make it. And this year, I kind of changed some things. Like last year, we had a lot of law enforcement. We had some forestry. We had a cowboy acting post 343, and they do kind of a cowboy acting. Really a great time. The kids love it.
That's cool.
That's neat stuff. They're coming out again. Mr. Greg Hugo is actually bringing those folks out again. Well, you're invited.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
The fun part is they have the mosquito control helicopter comes in and land. We've tried to bring in the Army Rangers to keep the same thing, but it's just logistically and fiduciarily, it's not really with the money. It's hard to get them from Camp Rudder to get over here. But they've always wanted to come over here in fast rope and just blow everybody away. But with excitement. But we bring in Florida High Patrol. A lot of good friends of mine that I went to school with are Florida High Patrol. The Stone brothers, Anthony and Andy Stone, are over in Tallahassee. And there's Lieutenant Brown that helps us every year over there. Also, Lieutenant Jamie Wright with the Panama City Beach Police Department. They're always there in full force, total support. But we want to show them fun. We actually have Mr. Chuck Rexroad. He's at Southport, the Cub Scout lead over there. He does all of the very, very, attention to detail, the BB gun marksmanship. And we have the proper distances, standoff, and safety. We have Boy Scouts that help out with safety. We have archery. Sometimes we have some fun, like some pie plates, and they have some wrist rockets, and they get, just little things and cast a fishing rod. This year we've included a bouncy house, some other things, the Panama City Beach Optimist Club, which is our main charter for the troop in Pack 323. They're going to come out and facilitate providing lunch, hot dogs, like they do for cops and kids for the boys at part. So it's going to be a great thing. The gentleman that does the Hawaiian Ice he always comes out every year. Phenomenal, just a great thing. But it's just a giant, big, fun event. If they so inclined to join that fee, they do it online. They come and show, and they get a great cool patch every year. It's a new patch, and they can also, if they decide to wear it when they're in their uniform, they can wear it temporarily in the uniform. This is one of the spring camporees we went to, but they can temporarily wear different kind of patches in their uniforms.
Now, Kyle had one that he was able to carry over. I think it was below the left pocket.
That is, tell them what that is.
The Arrow of Light, it's basically when for your second year of Weeblo, you're announced Arrow of Light, so you do like certain ranks, and as a reward you get like a plaque, and it's just basically an arrow with a sun set, sort of, and just announce that you've completed Cub Scouts.
Yes, highest award. And that's the only one they get to carry over. Usually when the Cub Scouts, they get their advanced arrows, silver and gold arrows, and their pins and belt loops, and really a lot of neat stuff that signifies their achievements and their accomplishments, and they wear it with pride. It's awesome.
Absolutely, should wear it with pride. Real quick, Kyle, if you will, tell the audience, the listening and watching audience, the levels, like bear.
When you're in second grade?
First grade.
First grade, you are
Tiger.
Mm-hmm. Second grade is wolf. Third grade is bear. Fourth grade is Weeblo's year number 1, and fifth grade is Weeblo's year number 2, and then zero.
Yeah.
Then you can cross over into your selected pack. Usually we try to keep the numbers coincide, like 323 to 323.
Sure.
But yeah, so much things that they learn at Cub Scouts, and it's amazing because when they start out, they give really basic, and each year advances, a little bit harder. Weebelos, they learn a ton. I mean, they'll actually go on a 2 or 3 mile hike. They have to learn some knots and learn how to do some shelter type work, in-depth first aid. They have to visit the fire station. I'll tell you, retired Chief Coco of the Beach Fire Department, awesome guy. Whenever we asked, he didn't just say, yeah, we'll get to, he's like, we'll see you tomorrow. Here's the time. That guy, super support. Thank you, Chief.
Point on mission. Let's do it.
Also part of the Optimist Club.
Good deal.
Great guy. Anyways, but he took care. These kids learned so much from him. Just really neat, and that guy. I would, if we had more like him. Even the chief of police also. Every time they do the scouts, man, they don't even question. Like, all right, we'll get it done. When do you want it? I mean, anytime. It's just amazing, and really appreciate it.
That's fabulous. I want to ask Kyle one more question.
Yep.
Just because I'm like a curious kind of guy. So you're 4 years in now, is that right?
For what?
For in scouting Cubs.
Probably 6 years.
6 years in. So here's my question. So you got a new guy that's coming in, and they're younger than you. So do the new guys call you old man?
No.
They don't? Well, that's good to know. But I just had to tease you a little bit.
That's awesome.
Anyway, because when I was drafted, I was like 21 years old, and believe it or not, most of the guys that were going in were 18 or 19. And I wound up being the old man in the platoon.
Oh boy!
Because I was 21. But anyways.
Well, the whole your show is Military Hour, and there is a connection. Because I know when we go out to, say you go to Tyndall, and I think if you walk up to about maybe 70% of those pilots out there, I guarantee everyone's an Eagle. They started with scouting. It affiliates it. And it's not that, scouting is a military organization and all, and we try not to. There is some discipline involved, and teach discipline. If they decide to be a Rhodes Scholar or go to federal law enforcement, hey, it's all in line with that same, all of those, trustworthy, honest, clean, things of that sort. It all relates. You're creating a foundation of excellence in the cross. And there's other programs out there, but we're just really familiar with scouting. Explorer Scouts is another one part of scouting, and we're going to have some explorers at Ranger Day. And I started out when I was 14. I was a law enforcement explorer scout. Had no idea what it was. For some reason, I never got in the Cub Scouts. I don't know why. I think I was working with my father. You know, we were making ends meet in St. Pete, things of that sort. So my uncle was the fire chief of St. Petersburg. He said, "Hey, have you heard about Explorer Scouts?" I said, "Well, what is that all about?" And, well, long story short, we were basically kind of like a trustee or a trainee. The St. Pete police officers would teach us stuff, soup to nuts. They wouldn't hold anything back. I mean, we watched some of the training videos that were shocking. You know, there was some, they would actually, when they do training videos, they would show some of the gore of the shootouts and things like that, let you understand this is what, it's not all, you know, bull cherries. This is what, and it kind of, you step back a little bit like as a young boy and go, wow, you know, and you see the sacrifice police officers make, and you're like, man, that's really amazing. And it didn't deter us at all. Yeah. But what we were taught there, we were taught how to do traffic stop, accident investigation, firearms, things of that sort, in a very safe manner. We actually had a pistol team that would just, I mean, we went to nationals, I think, in 1980, 82 or 81, it escapes me. And I think 3,000 Explorer Scouts across the nation. We met in Fort Collins, Colorado. They have a thing called President's 20. 17 of those President's 20 went to St. Pete and Tampa Police Department out of the nation, 3,000 shooters. My sister and I think, she always outscored me. I scored 13th and she scored 7th. So we still got our medals to this day, but it was a really neat thing. But
that's fabulous.
We would actually, and I want to kind of, I think exploring doesn't really get a lot of the attention. And what they'll teach you, they still do marksmanship. They do it all over the country. You just don't hear much about it. And they have them here in town. They have Panama City Beach, and I think the Bay County Sheriff's Office also has an Explorer program. They're going to come out to our Ranger Day. They've talked. So, but when we were explorers, you know, they didn't have the GPS. We had to know the 10 codes. I was probably 16 years old, maybe 17, like 15 to let you ride. When you got in that car with that police officer, you control the radio. So he would do scenarios. Was like he would say, "All right, I just got shot. Where are we at?" And you had to figure out where you're at and fake calling that number. So if you didn't know that, you talk about feeling like really gave you a sense of confidence and understanding. So I think exploring doesn't get a really...
A lot of people don't even know what 10 codes are.
No, I know.
The general population.
But usually, so scouting runs up to you can run up to make Eagle. And you can make Eagle in exploring. It's just a different venue thing. Mm-hmm. But Eagle... exploring is another venue. They can cross over. There's also Navy Sea Scouts that are out there with all kinds of things.
I did not know that.
And actually, we have Joe Watson. Used to be he's now part of a Troop 317 over at Navy base. He's not only a Boy Scout, he's a Sea Scout. And so he's double duty, man. He's laser straight focus. So you got a lot of kids they know what they want to do. They see it. Nothing's stopping me. That's what I want to do.
Now I have to educate myself on Sea Scout.
Yeah, it's a lot of.
No idea.
There's so much out there. And then same with that, with Greg Hugo with his, I think it's 343 post. It is when they're explorers, they call them posts.
Yeah.
And they do an acting one. And Greg Hugo used to go out to Nevada and do all the Western movies, stuntman stuff. So he brings that here and they do in those shows. There's so much out there.
I'd love to see that.
Neat stuff. Just depends on what flavor of the week you're interested in.
Yeah, I hear you. Tell you what, just a lot of great information, and it's been a real pleasure to meet you.
Oh, thank you.
Kyle, it's been a real pleasure to meet you. Keep up the good work. I'm confident you're going to do fine. And
pleasure's all ours, sir.
Oh, believe me,
okay.
I really enjoy this. I'm having more fun than an old man should, and I'm thankful for it. Absolutely.
We hope to see you before. I think we're still on your books for 14 September, I think it is.
Correct.
And we will have your version of your certificate and patch, one to wear and one to post.
Well, thank you very much. Now, I want to say this. Whatever you've got going on and any information you want to get out,
yes, sir,
just send it to me. Mm-hmm. You can get it to me via email, like
yes, sir.
we have communicated, or the Military Hour on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Anything you want posted, just post it.
Thank you.
I keep it open for anybody to post on.
Yes, sir.
As long as it's, above board.
Understood.
No derogatory, no anti-religion, and no politics. But if it's something to help the community, put it up there.
Yes, sir. And we're easy to find too. We have a Facebook page for a Troop 323. It's closed and protection of the young ones. Sure. Same with the scouts, the younger scouts. But I'm not easy to find. There's only one of me on Facebook, thank God. But if you need to find it, it's it's a Troop 323 Boy Scouts, and then there's Pack 323 Cub Scouts. We're searchable on Facebook, and if there's any information, if I can give you my phone number later, I can give it to you now or whatever you need. I can answer any question.
Yep. we'll do that.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have
Thank
met you after conversing via the
Yes, sir.
electronic media. But
Thank
in
you.
any event,
This has been a true joy for us.
well, it's been a big joy and fun for me, because when I look at your little guy, it reminds me of my Kyle, who's only a couple years older than you, but man, I tell you what, I've got 8 grandsons. Can you imagine that?
Man,
No granddaughters. Oh well.
no pressure.
But that's just okay.
Yes, sir.
So, boys are easier. T-shirts, blue jeans, tennis
no.
shoes.
Except, I know we just got him. So he's breaking in his hiking boots. They're going to do some hiking this week at the. When they first get their their little badges and stuff, they have to earn them. So they do some hiking and some water survival and things of that sort.
I hope you break them in first so you don't get any blisters.
Yeah, that's what we're doing now.
There you go. Once again, thanks, Kyle.
It's been a
Joe.
pleasure. Thank you, sir.
What a pleasure. Thank you for your service.
Thank you too. You too.
Appreciate it very much. Till next time, Military Hour.